What's going on, Candelas? It is Dan Thomas with 80 Real Estate, and this is Spotlight on Candelas, where we try to shine a spotlight on businesses in and around Candelas or Candelas residents that own their own business. And today we have Marie Rotter with Code Ninjas, a brand new business for them, who are helping I guess a need for kids and teenagers that are interested in coding, giving them opportunities to learn and grow. So hello, Marie.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So, for that brand new Candelas resident, they just closed on their house yesterday and might not be familiar with Code Ninjas. What are you guys about?
Yeah, so Code Ninjas is a coding center where we teach kids how to develop software. Usually work with kids ages 7 to 14, and we teach them to develop software through video games.
Okay. And you guys are located here in Arvada?
Yes, we're at 77th and Wads, right next to the Sprouts and Christie Sports.
Right. And so, what was kind of the origin? How do you guys kind of get, started with this endeavor?
Yeah, so my son is, he's 16 now, but when he was younger, and still is, very interested in video games and wasn't really interested in a lot of other things. So there was a couple of things going on at that time where I started out my career in journalism, newspaper journalism, and obviously my career has outlasted that industry. And I was looking for a business opportunity that my husband and I could do together. We volunteered at Eldora with a program called Ignite Adaptive Sports. That's how we met. We both volunteered to teach disabled kids how to ski.
Okay.
And he taught snowboarding. So we love working with kids. We were looking for a business opportunity, and our son loved video games, and we were trying to find something that he could do that would teach him how to code, because I heard a speaker talk a few years ago, and it really resonated with me. And she was talking about encouraging your kids with STEM careers, which resonates with me, since I don't want my kids to go through what I went through, having to reinvent themselves when they already have a mortgage and kids.
Right.
But they were talking about the future of careers is really in STEM. And if your kids are really, just because they like video games doesn't mean they can't be interested in STEM. Like, get them interested in how video games are made, product development, software engineering. Like, there's a lot that goes into video games beyond that. And then, if they're interested in trains, you can get them interested in engineering. Like, there's a lot of things that you can expand upon. Don't just let them play video games all day. So that kind of stuck with me. And so I was looking for a way to kind of help my son learn to code, and I couldn't really find anything. He did a camp at CU when he was 8. That was a week-long camp, and he loved it. It was a Minecraft camp. But once the camp was over, he was begging me to go back and do more, and there was nothing available. It was like, sorry, school's starting, and there are no more camps, and there's nothing here. And my husband and I were talking about it, and I said, it's kind of crazy that they only do these coding camps, because if you're trying to learn an instrument, like if you wanted to learn to play the piano, you would go to piano lessons every week. You wouldn't just like go to piano camp and be like, ta-da, you know how to play the piano. So we were kind of looking for, how do we build out a curriculum? How do we do that? And then we came across Code Ninjas, and it was a franchise already built. The curriculum is proprietary. It was already built out for us. We love working with kids. My husband has a background in operations. So it really just kind of, everything came together all at once. Like, this is a perfect opportunity for us. We know there's a lot of kids like Aiden who maybe aren't, 24/7 sports kids, or maybe they are, but their parents are trying to get them off of video games and interested in something else. And we just thought it was a great opportunity. So that's how we came about.
No, that's great, because I mean, I do think the music analogy is important. That again, it almost seems like the expectation was you have an interest and you kind of are self-taught, and then it can expand once you're ready for college.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not, I mean, I don't know if my son's going to be a software developer. He thinks he is, but he's 16. When I was 16, I thought I was, I don't know, going to be in performing arts or something. But, you know, but you talk to most 8-year-olds now, and they say, oh, I want, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they say, oh, I want to be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And like, right, okay. Because that's what they do, is they watch YouTube all day. But wouldn't it be great if they had a place where they can go, where they can learn how videos are made, how the internet is made, how things are built upon, and you can create your own things. And that's a much different experience than just sitting in front of a computer and watching YouTube for hours at a time.
Right. So, help me unpackage, what you guys offer, at your centers. I think that, I know in speaking with you earlier in this week, I misunderstood that, thinking that all you do is kind of camps. It's a lot more than that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people initially think that because that's what most other places do. But the core of our program, and the reason why it's called Code Ninjas, is because we offer a weekly drop-in program for kids. So they can come in. It's structured similar to like karate or taekwondo, if you've ever done martial arts. So everybody starts at a white belt. They go into the dojo, which is where the computers are. They are helped by senseis, who are teenagers and college kids who are just as excited about video games as they are. And who, there's not a huge age gap there, so it helps with the intimidation factor, I think, a little bit, where they're there to help the kids along with their belt progress. So as they move from white belt to yellow belt, they move into Java programming. They move from there into other more complicated programming languages. And at the black belt level, they should be able to build and launch their own game in the App Store. So that is, usually most kids come in twice a week. And you can come in whenever we're open. So there's no like appointment time, or, white belts have to be here at 5 o'clock on Tuesdays, which as a parent, I really appreciate, because I know I always struggle getting my kids out the door, getting home from work and trying to get them dinner and get them out the door, and, for gymnastics, or we did Kung Fu for a while, or, whatever we were doing. So it's nice to just have that. They show up, they scan their wristband, and that's when their hour starts.
Yeah, and this is for kids in all experience levels, correct? I mean, it's not relegated to kids that have some background in coding. I mean, you could walk in brand new, and a sensei would start you out.
Yeah, and definitely we have a lot of kids, especially 6-7 years old. They've only ever used a tablet. So we sit them down at a laptop, and they don't know what a mouse is. They don't know how it works. They don't know how to type on a keyboard. So we start out with kind of some basic, like, here's what you do. You click over here, drag the mouse here. They pick it up really fast. And then we start with Scratch, which is a block-based code, which is color-coded. So different commands are color-coded. So they kind of learn what the basis of the language is by colors and groups, and then we start to break that down for them as they start to progress.
Gotcha. And then, so obviously, you guys got started last fall, and then come March, we have a world pandemic with COVID. So how have you guys pivoted during all this uncertainty and this transitional time period?
Yeah, I really thought that opening November 17th, our biggest challenge was going to be the holidays, because it was just not an ideal time to open, but it's when construction finished and when the city could give us a permit. So not knowing what was around the corner. But what we did was we transitioned to an online format. So the kids, we put together programs to go through kind of the basis of, they learn infinite loops in the beginning. So, we kind of focused on different concepts and how to teach them that. We did it over Zoom, as most kids got pretty used to with school being closed. And then we offered some online camps. So we had a website design camp, and we had a Java building. And what really surprised me is the kids really missed each other. Like, doing it online was just not as fun as being in the center. So when we reopened the center, we reopened the end of May. We're open for drop-in coding again, and we're also doing in-person camps. We're just limiting the number of kids that can be there. So we have week-long summer camps. We follow Jeffco's school schedule. So when they have a teacher in-service day, for example, we'll do a day camp. So we try to make it a convenient place for parents to go when they need a place for their kids.
Awesome. So if you could expand on that point you just brought up about, sense of community, and you saw kind of some disappointment, in the kids, and having to shift to online, because, my favorite question in these interviews is like, hey, what would people be surprised to hear about your industry, and or your business, and, you had, again, I would have thought, probably, introverted, shy kids, who kind of, like to be isolated in front of a tablet or a computer. And it's more than that. I mean, they really do, develop bonds and friendships and that sense of community through doing coding together.
Yeah, they definitely do. And, kids are always going to be kids. They love to play with each other. They love to show each other what they're doing. And so, kids have made friends at Code Ninjas. There's really a sense of community that has built around it, where we've got to know other people in the Arvada area, other parents like us, that we've become friends with, and they've become friends with each other. So it's really been a special bond that's created. And there's still, it's just more fun when somebody's there kind of coaching you along and saying, oh, well, that didn't work because you might want to try this, instead of them spending 20 minutes trying to figure it out on their own. And then having them say like, oh, that looks so cool. Let's put it up on the screen, on the projector, and you can show everybody what you built. And then all the other kids get excited, and then they're like, well, let me show you what I built. And so it's really, it's fun to watch, and it's fun for them to be a part of and be a community member. And that surprised me for, other people, other store owners had told us that, and I figured it would come eventually. I didn't think it would come that fast. So that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah. So, obviously you are a Candelas resident, and, very close to me, right down the street from me. So you guys are, kind of share with people who might be watching, how you guys are involved in Candelas, with Kid Nights Out, with different programs. I know you mentioned to me, and hopefully I'm not putting you on the spot with something that hasn't been approved, of how you guys are you're going to try to maybe get implemented with Three Creeks, K through 8. But yeah, how are you involved with Candelas?
Yeah, so we've been to Candelas Fest. Right before we opened, we did,
Guest visitor.
Right before we opened, we went to Candelas Fest. We've been to community festivals, trying to get the word out, and people signed up for our email list. We sponsored the fall festival at Three Creeks, and we are a PTA sponsor because our daughter goes to Three Creeks as well. And we did a parents' night out at the rec center up top in January, I believe. So we might do that again next year. Not sure if they're going to continue doing that with everything going on, of course. We are doing, so we do parents' night out at our center. So we also talked to the community director about, if they do an adults night out, maybe we schedule a parents' night out at our center the same night. Okay. So they have a babysitter. Because parents' night out is just more fun playtime. We do it usually Friday evenings. But with everything going on, we had to put those on hold. We order pizza, they play video games, they do virtual reality games, and we do other activities with the kids for like 3 hours while the parents have a night off. And the kids love it. So that's a lot of our involvement with Candelas so far. One thing we'd like to do is we are doing these festivals. A lot of parents said that, since they both work, it's hard for them to get to our center when we're open. And they asked if we would do an after school program at Three Creeks. We would love to do an after school camp. With not knowing what's going to happen in the fall, we're kind of waiting. It may be winter, it may be next year, I don't know, but that is on our horizon where we would love to do, take one of our camp curriculums and do it as a drop-in after school program that they could pay for, and the kid would just stay till 4:30 or something, and we would do Minecraft camp or Java camp or website development, something like that.
Okay, and then this is you mentioned your son and daughter and husband, so this is a family affair for you guys.
It is. Right now I'm there every day for camp time. So I'm usually there. We don't have any campers this morning, but I'm usually there from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and then my husband's there. He shows up about 4:30, and then he stays for the drop-in program, which it goes from 4:30 till 8 p.m. So yeah, and our son is a sensei. And our daughter, she's 13, so she's going into 8th grade at Three Creeks. She's been helping out a little bit. She's been through some of the belt programs, so like when we do Minecraft camp, she'll help out with she's kind of a junior sensei, I guess.
And then there's other teenagers that are senseis that are also live in Candelas.
Yep, we have Jack Salmon, who's a 16-year-old. He attends Ralston Valley. He lives in Candelas. Aiden Marler, who's our assistant director of the center. He lived in Candelas until he went to CU last year. And so he runs all the camp programs for us, and he's great with kids. And the other senseis live near, but not in Candelas. But yeah, we were lucky that because our son was in high school, we knew some kids that would be great senseis. Yeah. So the most important thing when we hire senseis is that they have fun with the kids and they interact with the kids. And, we can teach them the coding. It's more important that they like working with kids and are fun to be around. So.
Yeah, making those connections, developing those bonds. Yeah. It's probably why you have that community feel. So
yeah.
So great. So anybody who is interested, go ahead and plug yourself. How can they find more information about the different programs, camps, drop-ins? Whether that's your website, whether that's different social media feeds. How can Candelas neighbors find you guys?
Yeah, so we're at codeninjas.com, and when you go to that website, it'll say find a center, and you can go to Arvada. We also have Code Ninjas Arvada on Facebook and Instagram, which I update pretty much daily. And you can contact us through either of those social media sites to be included on our email list for the upcoming camps, parents' night out, stuff like that.
And when is your guys' next camp starting up?
We start every Monday through the summer. So it's a Monday through Friday camp. We have half day and full day options. Next week is Minecraft. This week we did website design and Python.
Okay. Yeah, so parents out there that I know some sports and camps are slowly starting back up, but I know a lot of the kids, having kids myself, we're tired of the quarantine and want to get out. So if you're looking for something, make sure to check Marie and Code Ninjas out. So
Thanks.
Yeah. Well, great, Marie. Like I said, I think you guys are, doing a great thing. And again, I know my daughter's experienced it at some of the festivals and Three Creeks events, and I know she's set to start one of the camps this summer. So, like I said, I think you guys are doing a great thing, and there was definitely a need for it. So, congratulations on your early success, and thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Well, that wraps up this Spotlight on Candelas. If you are interested in this series, make sure to like and subscribe on the YouTube link. You can also see all these interviews on facebook.com/Candelas Neighborhood. And if you are a business owner in Candelas that would like to do one of these interviews, please reach out to me. Real easy, Dan@8z.com. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.